Hi, this is Dustin with PopGun Studios, and we're going to talk about mix engineering and why that's important to independent artists. A mix engineer's job is to take the music that they're given and do all the steps necessary to make it sound the best that it can sonically sound. So, you've got a tracking engineer whose job is to take the artist or band, put them in the right room for the instrument, use the right microphone cable, the right instrument. These things are painstakingly chosen to get the best sound that you can possibly achieve on the way in. But once it's recorded, and all of the instruments and all of the vocal performances are laid down, if you go back and you just throw all the faders up and hit play, sonically a lot of those frequencies can mesh with each other in a really bad way. They don't necessarily gel. The bass drum frequencies might overlap with the bass guitar's frequencies, creating sort of a muddy effect, where typically you would want the kick drum to be nice and punchy on its own, and you want the bass guitar to be nice and punchy on its own. So you have to find a way to separate them without weakening them, and bringing them out on their own sonic plane. So that is what the mix engineer does. He takes all of the music that's been recorded by these guys, like I said, that took all the time to make sure it sounds good on the way in, and sort of like put a polish on it, just enhance the best parts of it, and to sort of hide the weaknesses that might have been there inherently that they couldn't have accounted for. Okay, so a huge benefit for any independent band or artist to hire a mix engineer is specifically for those artists that don't have a huge budget for recording their project. Hiring a producer, hiring studio musicians potentially, renting the studio space. If you're not local, budgeting for travel expenses, lodging, food, all those things can really be expensive, and they add up when you're factoring in your budget for recording your project. But if you have the means to record your music locally, be it Pro Tools, Logic, any way, shape, or form, as long as you've got a way to get your music into a format that you could send to a mix engineer, then you could potentially save yourself a lot of money by having that engineer mix and even maybe master those tracks. So basically, if that mix engineer is worth their salt and they know what they're doing, what you're going to get back is going to sound exponentially better than what you had originally. So now we're going to listen to an example of a pre-mix and a post-mix on a project I just did recently for a band called Admit One. They're from North Carolina. I've been a big fan of theirs for a while. I've seen them live. I know what they're capable of. In this project they had an extremely limited budget for. I think they had like 48 hours to record 7 songs in their school. Really the only thing they had budgeted for was a mix engineer to come in after the fact and try to put a polish on everything, so that's what I did. So now I'm going to play about a 30-second clip of before and then an immediate after so you can hear the difference, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about it.
I know the light that burns so deep inside, and once it ignites, no darkness can hide. Let's open up our hearts, but not our... I know the light that burns so deep inside, and once it ignites, no darkness can hide. Let's open up our hearts, but not our...
Alright, so in that example, hopefully you could hear the difference between not just the sonic quality of the music, but also the stereo space, how the guitars were panned, how the drums came forward in the mix, how the vocals were tuned and timed. So go back and listen to that and really pay attention for those things. But in the meantime, let's listen to one more example.
I was hoping we would sing of brighter days. Now my thoughts have been poured out, and they're lying on your floor. Now my thoughts have been poured out. hoping we would sing a brighter day.